We've scanned the sky and we've sighted the moon, and we welcome the month of Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope the fasts are going well for you so far. وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن. And it is the month of Ramadan in which you sent down the Quran. For this month of Ramadan, if you're looking for an activity to do with your children in order to infuse their hearts, minds and souls with the love of the Holy Qur'an, keep in mind that positive association is key. So in order to infuse their hearts with the love of the Holy Qur'an, you can take a few short surahs from the Holy Qur'an, and this is an idea I got from Kitty Time of Orlando, so I would like to thank them for sharing this idea with me and allowing me to share it with the rest of you. This is something that they had done a couple of years ago with the little children. So take a few short surahs of the Holy Qur'an, and what you can do is you can have a station for each surah. And I will tell you the surahs that they had picked, and I'll show you the activity that they had done with the children later on. So what they had done was to make it more magical and an exciting experience for the children. They had someone dressed up as Angel Jibra'eel. So the person was dressed in white with the wings and whole 9 yards. And that angel Jibra'eel was the one guiding the children from station to station. And each station was a surah. This is the activity that they did later on, and I will walk you through it, but I'll just give you the names of the surahs that they did. Surah Al-Fil, Surah Kawthar, Surah Al-Qadr, Surah Al-Asr, and Surah Al-Shams. So each station had one surah and something related to that surah. At each station they had the recording of the surah, so the surah was read by a qari and the children were listening to it. And obviously you want to tell the children some of the etiquette of the Quran, that when Quran is being read, we have to be quiet. So they all had to be quiet and listen to a particular surah being read. And then they had an explanation of that surah. So for example, for Surah Al-Fil, they were told that it means the elephant, maybe a very short background about the story of the elephants and Abraha trying to destroy the Kaaba. Then in Surah Al-Kawthar you talk about abundance and how there is a river or a fountain in Jannah called Kawthar. For Asr, you want to tell them that it means time. Very simple terms, because these are very young children that they did this activity with. And then obviously you can make it more deeper for the children who are older. But these are just ideas that I'm sharing with you that you can do with the children. And then for Surah Al-Qadr, you talk about the powerful night or the magnificent night, a night in which the angels come down and the earth is filled with angels, and it's just such a happy occasion. The Quran was revealed. And then for Surah Shams, you explain them about the sun. Very simple background information on what the surah is talking about, what the surah means. And then at each station, the children had something to take away with them. And they had done it beautifully. The angel would sprinkle glitter on the kids after they heard the Qari recite the surah. And after hearing a short explanation about the surah, they would uncover the special surprise that was under the namaz chadar, because you don't want to keep those things open since children will get distracted with the goodies that they see. At every station, whatever they were giving the students was covered with a white cloth or a namaz chadar, and the name of the surah and the picture was on top of that namaz chadar, and each child would get a goodie. So for example, for Surah Kawthar they did water bottles or something. I don't quite remember what they did for each station, but these are just examples that you can use, and obviously you can get creative and create your own goodies that you can give for each station. And please do share it with us. The idea for these videos is for us to share our ideas with you, and we love to hear back from you and hear the ideas that you have incorporated and used whenever you do activities like these. They had little sandwiches that were cut in a round shape with a smiley face, and those sandwiches were placed on yellow paper plates with rays coming out. So that was for Surah Shams. For Surah Asr, they had cookies and they had iced numbers with the hands of a clock to remind them that that means time. For Surah Al-Fil, they had animal crackers. We get animal crackers here, and we have crackers of the elephant shape, so that's what they got for Surah Al-Fil. And for Surah Qadr, again, I'm not quite sure what they had done, but you can do Oreo cookies to remind them of the night, perhaps cut it in a moon shape, or maybe half the first top of the Oreo cookie and they can see the cream underneath. Just be creative and do something that, you know, reminds them of what Qadr means, the night of power. And then they did a craft. And for the craft, now, I know in any of my videos, whenever I mention an activity or when I show you an activity, a lot of you ask me for the documents. I don't always have the documents to share with you. So the idea is for me to share whatever we've done with you, and then for you to get creative and create your documents. So unfortunately, I don't have anything to share as far as this is concerned. I have nothing saved, and they don't have anything saved in their database either for me to be able to share it with you. So I know a lot of you would want ready-made documents that you can just print out and use, and I know that would work so much better and be more convenient, but I'm very sorry I don't have that. So I'll just show the pictures to you, and then I'm sure you can create these in Word document and just print it. So this is the booklet that they made. The children stapled the papers together, and then they made the cover page that talks about the 5 Super Surahs. And like I said, they had chosen Surah Fil, so we have the elephant. Kawthar, so there is water to remind them that there's a fountain or a river, Kawthar in Jannah. The moon and stars for Qadr, smiley sun for Shams, and then time for Asr. And you know, they can decorate, write their names. And then each page talks about one surah, and very simple. It's just a picture, name of the surah, and the meaning. So Surah Al-Fil, the elephant, and the picture of the elephant. Surah Al-Kawthar, the picture and what it means. Abundance, in their simple terms, you can just say that Kawthar means a lot. Qadr, the moon and the stars, and the blessed night. Asr, time, and the picture of a clock. And then Shams, sun, and the meaning. On the last page, what they did was they put multiple pictures for each surah. So elephants for Surah Al-Fil, Surah Kawthar, Surah Qadr, Asr, and Shams. And this was to encourage them to read these surahs. So every time they read Surah Fil, they color in the elephant. And they do the same thing for each of the surahs. Every time they read that particular surah, they get to color that picture until they have read all of it. Just an activity to encourage them to read as much Quran as they can in this holy month. And something for them to kind of check off, because they get to color, and every time they color, that's a count that, okay, I've done 2 Surah Fils, or I've done 5 Surah Kawthars. So just an idea on what you can do to instill the love of the Quran, and as well as encourage the children to read these short surahs, perhaps memorize them or learn them, or just listen to them. Because listening to the Quran and hearing it recited in the correct way, so either listening to a qari or someone who is able to recite it with correct pronunciation and tajweed, is also very important for them to do at a very young age. So just an idea, if you're looking for something to do with your children, especially in this month of Ramadan, and something that is related to the Quran, then this is something that you can do with your children or your students. If you enjoyed this video, then please share it with anyone who may benefit from it. And please join Tanveer Shares to create a world that shares.
when we'll fast together for Allah to help and strengthen our Iman.